What's going on, rock and roll fans, band members, and those who just love all things rock? Welcome to the Tenacity podcast, the place where we talk about all things rock. I am sitting here with my partner in crime, my co-host, Josh. Josh, how are you doing?
Oh, I am doing fantastic today, sir. And I don't think I'm dreaming, Gavin. I think this is reality. It is a beautiful, beautiful day to talk about all things rock.
Absolutely. And returning with us for this episode, we've got our bassist, Braden, joining us. Braden, thank you for joining us again on the podcast.
Drum roll.
As you all know, I'm Braden. So, yeah.
What an entrance. But guys, we are talking about an interesting subject, something that, so if you have, of course, if you're listening to this, you love all things rock and roll, and you may or may not have gotten to see your favorite rock band in concert. However, there are a lot of rock bands that have stood the test of time that are still touring today. But the question comes up, how much longer are these bands going to last? So today we want to talk about bands that if they are touring right now, you probably should take the opportunity to go see them, because they may not be touring again, because they are facing what everyone faces, because we're all human. We're facing time. As we get older, there are certain things that we just can't do anymore, or there's things in our lives that have taken place that have made it to where that's really just not in the cards for us anymore. So we want to talk about bands that are possibly going off the scene or just retiring because they've already done their contribution. So we want to get into it, and I would love to start this off with a band that I love. It's near and dear to my heart. It kills me to talk about it like this, but I feel like it's about that time for them to be done. And I would say that band is got to be the band Bon Jovi. So something about I've never shied away from is I love Bon Jovi. John Bon Jovi, I believe, is one of the greatest vocalists out there. I'll fight anyone who says otherwise. Fight me. Anyway, but one thing that John has not been shied away from is that he has gone through vocal surgery because, of course, he's had some stuff that's happened with his voice and his throat, and he's had stuff to take care of it. He's recovering, but it comes back to like, how much longer is they going to be able to do that? John himself is about, I believe, 62 this year at the time of this recording in 2024. He's amazing, like what he's accomplished. They actually just released an album. They don't have any tour dates coming out, but if you have an opportunity to see them, and they're coming out with a tour, I believe they are going to be doing something in 2025. My hope is I'd love to be able to see them one last time. I've only got to see them one other time, but if you get the opportunity to see them, they're a band that needs to, because you need to see it to believe it, because they are a larger life, and the lead vocalist himself, John, is a larger than life person. But that's just one band that we're talking about. Braden, what's a band you think that's coming off the scene that we need to see? If we get to see it and they have the opportunity, who do we need to see before they're gone?
I got ice in my mouth a lot.
Oh my goodness.
Never heard of them.
What a distraction.
I was thirsty, all right? Let's see. There's a lot of bands going out because we're hitting that time where we're leaving the era where rock was everything. Rock was the music. Some bands have been around for 30 plus years, and it's not saying it's time for them to leave, but I'd rather you to play a good show than I'd rather you play a good show than be retired. But if you can't play a good show, then why do the show anymore? But I think one of the bands that's going out right now is oh crap, oh my gosh, I totally blanked on the name. I know, Kiss. That's the one. I was talking about it before we started the recording. I brought it up, and that's the one I decided just to forget totally about. A lot of them, they've swapped out drummers, but that's not for lack of trying.
I think they've had three, I think, that I count, that they've had in their existence.
Yeah. I don't think they meant to swap drummers. I don't think they wanted that half the time, but some of it was unfortunate. Some of them passed, but when you can't keep drummers because they just don't want to be there, why even be a band anymore? Like, they've been very influential on the metal scene for sure, with rock and all of that. But I think a lot of the members are getting old. Mm-hmm. I think it's time for them to move on. I'm still not the biggest Kiss fan in general, but I think it's just time for them
I think they
Move
were
on.
there for a time. Like, I agree with you. They were there for a time. They ruled the world for a long time, and they have influenced a lot of different bands that have come up. But I feel like, to kind of go with Braden's take, is when you get to the point where, in order to perform a show, you have to digitize the band and make them digital. Now, I have yet to get to see these. I've seen the commercials for these guys doing the shows as these versions of them, and I don't. Now, it could. I mean, I could be wrong, and this thing totally works for them. But for me, I just don't see it. Like, if I'm going to pay to go see a band play my favorite songs, I'm expecting to see the people who wrote the songs, not a screen. I can stay home and watch a show like that. But to go with him about Kiss, like, I think they're amazing. But yeah, I think if you get to see them live, which unfortunately I don't think they're going to do it anymore. Hint, hint. They'll turn around and do it like they've always done with their tours. The end of the road tour, everything, like, it's over tours, like, whatever, however many last tours they've had. Could be surprised. They could surprise us right around the corner. But if you get to see them live, not the TV versions, that's a band you want to see. Josh, who else you need to see if they are in tour?
Well, I mean, this subject's kind of, we hate to see our legends get all old and stuff, and I mean, and not being able to do it, but you can't fight time. Like you said, you can fight your wife, you can fight your children, you can fight your boss and get a new job.
You can put the dukes up.
Anybody can get it, but you can't fight time. And so actually, there's so many that come to mind right now, but since my favorite band, of course, is the Beatles, and obviously we have two Beatles that are no longer with us, and they broke up, but Paul McCartney still does full tours, new albums. Oh yeah. At 82 years old. And that's just amazing. And he's my ultimate hero. So, I mean, obviously my dream would be to see him live, but man, him at 82 years old to be able to still do that. And there's others that do it too, like Mick Jagger and a few others, but man, Paul McCartney, to be able to see him live, somebody who all my life I've looked up to, and man, he has a lot of stories to tell, but just to see a Beatle in person, it'd be cool to see Ringo too, but just to see him and to see him perform, that would be epic.
And they've got a tour coming up next year, I believe, right? With Paul and Ringo together.
Ringo's going to tour with Paul, and that would just be amazing. And man, if only John Lennon and George Harrison were still alive too, and then you could have the ultimate Beatles comeback. But I mean, but hey, Paul and Ringo, that would be amazing to see. So, but yeah, definitely, that would be right off the bat who I'd want to see.
Absolutely. So if you get an opportunity to see them, you need to go see them. So coming into this one's an interesting, because it's not necessarily a band. It's more of a namesake. And this guy has been, in fact, a fun story about this guy. This is the guy that actually influenced the idea behind Kiss's makeup. And he is still touring to this day. And I'm talking about the man himself, the legend, Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
And Alice Cooper has been around, oh my goodness, forever. And he has put out some incredible songs. I have to say, like, I love listening to House of Fire, Poison, School's Out. These are some incredible hits that he has put out. And he is still, to this day, kept on touring. But here's the thing with Alice Cooper, is just like every band and every person, he is getting affected by time. He is getting older, and eventually he will physically have to come to realization, I can't do this forever. And I don't say that because he may be like, I'm still young, I can still keep going. And I absolutely, if he believes he can do it, I believe he can do it, because I've watched a couple of his live performances as he got older, and he's always been able to deliver an incredible show. But with him getting up in age, if you have not got to see him live and he is in your town, you need to go see him live, because there's no telling how much longer he's going to be able to keep doing this. Braden, who else do we need to see live before they're not able to keep touring anymore?
I believe the masters of Megadeth themselves. Dave Mustaine's getting old. He's getting up there. His voice is still recently it's gone on decline.
Yeah.
His voice stayed the same for so long. It held up, and then recently it's gone down. I believe Megadeth versus Metallica has been like highlight of rock itself throughout so many years. Seeing Megadeth go downhill sucks because I love Megadeth. I love their music. Seeing them go downhill sucks. I definitely think if you say, "Hey, I like rock, Megadeth's coming near me," I definitely think you should go see them because I think they're going to be going down. Not incredibly near, but within the next like 5 years, personally, I believe.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think I've seen a couple of their lives recently, and they're going on strong right now for a time. But of course, I mean, he's about the same age as, I think he's actually a little bit older than some of the Metallica guys. So it's only a matter of time before, of course, age catches up. So if you get to see them, and they're touring right now. So if they're in your area, and you're looking to go see them, that's a band you need to go see. Josh, who else do we need to see?
Well, they're on my shirt. AC/DC.
DCAC.
AC/DC, definitely. I would say, obviously, one of my heroes that's no longer with us is Mr. Bon Scott, but I also love Brian Johnson, and man, to see AC/DC in person, I mean, they still have it. They still got it. These guys do. They still got it. They Brian Johnson has that wonderful stage presence that we've talked about, and he could still put on a great show. The whole band can. Angus Young, oh man, he's still awesome. He lives up to his last name, Angus Young, because even though he's older, he's younger in spirit. He can play
Master of gymnastics,
and
absolutely.
And I mean, they really got it. And so I would say, man, AC/DC, to be able to see AC/DC, that's on my bucket list too. And I know we would have to do it sooner rather than later. Unfortunately, with that deal with time, but definitely AC/DC, definitely.
Absolutely. I have to say, and they've been doing a couple of shows here and there. I think one of the biggest ones was, I believe it was last year, they did the festival with Metallica, Tool, I believe Guns N' Roses was there, Iron Maiden. And that actually leads me into the next band that if you haven't got to see them yet and you want to go see them, this band was also at the festival and they had a huge popularity boost from that because people started remembering, oh yeah, this band does exist because they're so prevalent. And that is the band Judas Priest.
Oh yeah.
They have been around for so long. And I want to say they're just a little bit older than Metallica. But they were one of the hard rock bands that came out around the same time, even with Black Sabbath coming on the scene. They're just an amazing hard rock band. Our band loves to jam out to their song Breaking the Law. And Rob Halford is an amazing vocalist. He's got that scream. And for as old as he has always been able to maintain the incredible showmanship that he has on stage. And the thing is, they are an older band. So if you get to see them perform live, you need to go see them perform live. There's only so much more time before that band ends up having to say, hey, you know what, we got to call it quits. But that is a band you guys need to go see on tour. So, Braden, what's another band that needs to be talked about that is before they're done?
All right, let's look through the wall of photos of which band I should pick that we should talk about. I was gonna pick the top one right there, Guns N' Roses, absolute classic band. If you like rock and you haven't heard of Guns N' Roses, I'm pretty sure you don't like rock because they're mainstay of rock music itself. Welcome to the Jungle, Jumanji.
Yeah. Apologies, error on the set.
Sorry. Let's hope we don't release this video. I don't think we can show that. But Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, all of the classics that Guns N' Roses have made over the years is great. They've contributed so much to the community. I think that you really need to see them because I think seeing them live would change how you view the band for sure. But unfortunately, they're also going out very soon. I don't know how soon, but soon.
I know Axl Rose is slowly kind of getting. We were actually having a conversation with somebody earlier today, and they were talking about how Axl's voice has actually been improving. Because if you've seen anything from Guns N' Roses recently, a lot of it is they're not exactly in the shape they used to be in when they were ruling the world in their touring. But I know that they are trying to. They're improving. Axl himself is getting better and better, but he's also
Older and older.
he's getting older and older as time goes on. So some of those things he's been able to do, he's not going to be able to do for much longer. So I totally agree with that. Josh, what is another band that we need to talk about that is coming off the scene?
Honestly, a band we haven't really talked about much that I'm a fan of is the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, I love.
Oh
now
man, it would be
that's
awesome.
yes.
It'd be awesome to
I
see
would
the Red
love
Hot
to
Chili
see them
Peppers.
live.
That would be. I mean, I can't stop. I'm addicted to the shindig. I'd love to see them.
How addicted are you? 100%.
100%. I mean,
That's not a lyric.
yeah. We just got to give it away. Now, I mean, yeah, but I loved anyway. The Red Hot Chili Peppers. That would be so awesome to see them and see them live and to see them before they, retire and stuff. But man, just a great band who I've always had big appreciation for.
That's great. Okay, I want to give you guys one more because, and then we're actually going to cut into a second half of this episode. But this is a guy. Yeah. This is another guy who's got a single name for his band, and we don't know. There's no real telltale sign that he's actually going to do a final show. He is for all of his fans' sake. He wants to do another show. He very devoted to his fan base and loves the idea of doing another show, but physically he's just not able to. But if he was to be able to, if he's got one final show probably left in him, is what he has said on the news. And I'm talking about Ozzy Osbourne, the man himself, the Prince of Darkness. He is a man. If he is able to do one more show, that is the man you need to go see. Yes. If you've not watched any of YouTube him and look for some of his live performances, this man is insane.
Look up Ozzy Osbourne bat.
If you look at him,
love what you find.
If you look him up and you see if you see him from what he looks like now, and then you watch some of his live performances, you will find out the man has put his body through the ringer to bring an amazing show to every audience that he comes in contact with. From the time he was in Black Sabbath to his namesake, just building. He went from nothing to higher than life, kicked out of the band, went back down to the slums, and brought himself even higher than his time with Black Sabbath could take him. His own namesake, his own TV show, and just an amazing career. He's an amazing performer. He's physically unable to now, but he wants to do one more show. If he gets to do that one more show, guys, that is the show you need to go see because he's only going to do one. Guarantee you.
Himself. That would be great. And I heard about the story one time where actually I believe Black Sabbath opened for Ozzy.
Indeed, that's how much bigger he got than his own band that he helped start.
Yeah,
it's just incredible.
Who would have ever thought? I mean, crazy. But that's how it goes.
Dang it, you beat me to a Crazy Train reference. I was going to say he took the Crazy Train to fame. But I'm really
there you go. Well, that was still a good meme. Guys, we're coming into a second half. And so we've talked a lot about, and we don't mean to be downers speaking. If you guys disagree, love to hear your feedback in the comments on how much longer and who are some other bands that either are getting ready to be done or they probably should have been done a long time ago. So we'd love to hear those comments, but now we need to talk about what does that mean for rock? Does that mean that rock and roll is dead? But here's the thing. No, I love Brian Johnson's response for this statement that somebody asked him in an interview, him and Angus Young, and Angus, of course, laughed it off. Like, who said that? And Brian Johnson's response was, rock and roll, the thing about rock and roll is it always is adapting.
Yeah.
There's always going to be some new act. And in a previous episode, we even talked about a band that has proven that kind of sound. Talking about the last episode that Braden was on was Weezer. And that's a band that is new that could take place. But we want to talk about some of the new up and coming bands that could replace a lot of these rock and rollers that we've mentioned that are kind of coming off the scenes. These are legends, but guess what? Where one legend steps off the scene, a new one can take their place. And the first band I want to mention that can totally take over the scene, and this is actually a favorite of Josh's and mine, that I would love to see like get more credit for their work and their contribution, and it's the band Black Veil Brides.
Preach.
If you have never,
oh my gosh,
they are so. If you first see them, the first response you think is this is an emo goth band. And when you hear their music, it's almost far from it. His Andy's voice is anything but come across as whiny. It's very deep, it's very powerful, it's very heartfelt. Their heavy metal song In the End is on the list of some of the most heavy songs out there. They've got some incredible albums. They're on tour right now. They're finally starting to get some of the recognition that they deserve, I feel. And that's a band that could come into the metal or the rock scene, and they can totally make a killing as one of the next big bands that come on the scene. Braden, who else deserves that kind of credit as the next big band that's going to take over?
So this is very weird because I don't think either of you have heard of either of these bands. I've got two bands right now that I'm going to bring up. Lovejoy and Good Kid. Both of these bands, I've covered multiple of their songs. I love them. Lovejoy did have some setbacks. I'm not going to dive deep into that. But yeah, both of the songs, both of the bands are really good. Good Kid, very underrated. They're a indie band from an indie rock band from Toronto, Canada. Great band. They release, I think, 2 EPs a year, which
Wow.
What's crazy, I really like their release schedule. So they will release 4 songs, and then they will put those songs in the EP and then release 2 more songs with that EP, which I really like. So it's a total of 6 songs each EP. I think they've made 4 total. They're all really good. They've got some really good songs. They covered Laufey's From the Start, but in a rock style. And like, I have respect for these guys because they came from the bottom. You can tell they were just a group of like 5 or 6 friends that loved music, and they made so far they've done very good with how they manage their band, market the band. I don't think I've ever heard bad publicity from Good Kid. I've never heard a bad review of the band. I think the band will definitely go places within the next 5 years. They're live all over. They came to Dallas a few weeks ago, and I was really sad I got to miss out on it. But I think that's definitely one of the bands that will go far, take one of the Legends places within the next 5-10 years.
Nice. Josh, I know there's a band right now that you're thinking of, and I think I can guess, but tell the audience, what is a band that is going to take over in the rock scene?
Well, so many bands come to mind, but actually one band that I want to tell you, I mean, y'all have heard of it, but it's a band by the name of Falling in Reverse. Obviously, Falling in Reverse, and these two are not shocked at all to hear me say that. I think that's who Gavin was thinking I would say, but he was correct. Falling in Reverse. Ronnie Radke. I mean, obviously the well-talented front man of Falling in Reverse. He's been around for a while, but he's only 40 years old, and he's got, man, and his energy. He's more energetic now. He's always been energetic, but he's more energetic than when he was in his 20s. I mean, the dude is better than ever with Falling in Reverse. And actually, we just mentioned Black Veil Brides, another band I have a lot of respect for. They're going on tour soon, and that'd be a great show to catch. But yeah, Falling in Reverse, just like Black Veil Brides, they're a band of longevity, and they're going to be here for many years to come. And they're taking over. They're taking over rock in general. They're taking over, and they're dominating. They're killing it.
Absolutely, I agree. So another band. So one thing that has kind of started to come on the scene with a lot of new rock bands is these bands that start, introducing. We have bands that introduce makeup, and now we're getting bands that introduce costumes or masks into their stuff. And if you think I am talking about the band Slipknot, you're wrong. I'll let somebody else talk. I will let somebody else talk about Slipknot. I am talking about a band that is been on the scene. What's interesting about them is that a lot of their stuff, they like to control how their shows are produced because they create an atmosphere, and they've created, what's amazing about them is they've not just created an amazing following, an amazing presence on stage. They've created an entire background story to this world that these songs and this band is being produced from this incredible mind of Tobias Forge. I'm talking about the band Ghost. Ghost is a band that has come on the scene from the Swedish man Tobias Forge and all of his unnamed ghouls that have been on the stage with him, which we don't know who they are. There's been a lot of speculation on who these band members are. A lot of them think that they are some of the best from other bands that when they're not touring, they're working with Ghost. Tobias Forge himself even said that a lot of it is he will tour with one group that are professionals in doing tours, and then he works with another group when he is actually writing the songs for each album. They've been producing a little bit of different songs here and there. I've actually recently got to hear some of their new stuff, and they were hinting at 2025 in the song, and it sounds like they're getting ready to go back on tour again. But something about Ghost is just, in fact, if you want to find out why do I think that they're going to be one of the next big bands? Well, take a legend like Metallica. James Hetfield is a huge fan of this band Ghost. They've even taken them on tour. Kirk Hammett had him on a podcast episode talking to Tobias Forge. This band, the storyline, if you've ever wanted to find out like about this band, what they are, dude, you will spend hours just going through this amazing world and story that Tobias Forge has created for this Emeritus and his nameless ghouls, who I believe all have names now, but also their shows are, I believe, in the words that he says on stage, immaculate. And that is exactly what they are. I love all the stuff they do with their music, their sound. It's very unique with a classical sound, but also brings in a metal. But I think that's a band, watch out for them, because they can take the world by storm with every push that they make. Braden, who is another band? I want to do at least two more bands that we think we're going to take over. Braden, who else do you think will take over?
All right. Well, me and Josh were actually talking about this band for a minute earlier. It's actually the band Fozzy. If you guys don't know, Chris Jericho, an ex-WWE wrestler turned AEW wrestler, disgusting. It's disgusting. I know, Josh. I agree.
WWE all the way.
Yes. Amen. Dang, I lost my train of thought. Thank you, Josh.
We're talking about Fozzy taking over as another legendary band for the future.
Yes, Fozzy. They wrote his AEW entrance theme song, which is Judas. Great song.
Love it.
My personal favorite. What was it?
They have some, man.
It's their second best song behind Judas, and I can't remember what it was called. I just looked it up.
Oh yeah, I just listened to it.
Give us 1 second. We're doing some research here in the recording studio. Painless, that's what it was.
Yes.
I love that song. That is one of my shower favorites. I love listening to Painless in the shower. It's great.
Awesome.
Love Fozzy.
Love it. Josh, as our last, what's the last band we think? There's more. And guys, I know there's so many more that could possibly take over as another hit band. And I know you've got your favorite new bands that are coming out and your favorite bands that are kind of coming off the scene that you believe need to be in concert. We want to hear from you some more bands that you believe fit these categories. We'd love to talk about them again on another episode. So please make sure you share those. Let us know in the comments. Josh, let us know, brother, who is that last band that you think is ready to take over as soon as these other bands kind of are slowly fading off the scene. who's another band that could take over?
Well, band recommended to me by Gavin earlier. I'd never heard of them, but a band, Baby Metal. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. No, I mean, I'm not dissing on them, but no, I've only heard. But no, I was just joking. But no, I actually want to say this, and this might be controversial right now because it's kind of controversy as far as their new singer and everything. But I'm still gonna say it. She deserves a fair shot. I'm gonna say Linkin Park. I think Linkin Park. I know they're getting a lot of hate right now, or not a lot of hate. I mean, they're getting a lot of hate, but a lot of love too. I guess it works both ways. But they got a new singer, and there's already people saying, OG fans saying, "Oh, I'm not going to give it a chance." Look, Chester Bennington was amazing, and he is in his own category. But look, he would want the band to move on. And look, this woman isn't designed to be Chester Bennington. She's designed to be, I believe her first, what was her name? Is it Emily? I need to learn her name. But anyway, I'm wanting to give her a shot. But look, I have confidence that she's going to be good. I have confidence that their album's going to be good, and they'll still put on a great show. And look, Chester Bennington's spirit will always be there. Emily Armstrong is her name. Thank you, Braden. And so anyway, I think everybody needs to give them a chance. But still a band I would love to see live. Unfortunately, the whole tragedy with Chester Bennington was awful. But hey, I mean, his spirit will live on, and she is no way trying to outdo him or anything. But I think we need to give her a shot, and I think they'll be good. I can't wait to hear new music from Linkin Park. But I wanted to actually plug that. I think Linkin Park would be. They still have longevity, and they have longevity, and they still have a ways to go. I think it'd be awesome. To see them and see what they do with their new singer.
I agree, and in fact, that's something that's always interesting. And guys, if you're on the fence about new singers, let's just a quick reminder that there was a band that we talked about in this episode that had a new singer, weren't sure where they were going to go. They already had made it to amazing heights with their lead singer, who passed, unfortunately. And they had to bring in a new singer who had a different voice compared to what they were used to, but took them to even greater heights. Talking about AC/DC, the transition from Bon Scott to Brian Johnson. Just because your lead singer is gone doesn't mean that if you guys believe that they would want you to carry on, then carry on. You never know what a new singer is going to bring. I know Brian Johnson, they kept true to the sound, but what Brian's vocals brought to it was something totally new and different that I don't think there's been another vocalist who's ever been able to bring that. And it'll be really interesting to see what this lady will be able to bring to Linkin Park, and how she's going to be able to honor Chester's memory in the band. But guys, that is going to be it for today's episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed the music that's been playing in the background of this episode, that's part of our band that we're actually all a part of for Tenacity. Links for that music will actually be in the description. And guys, if you want to learn more about our bassist Braden, he actually has a YouTube channel. Link for that will be in the description. He does a lot of different covers where he actually plays bass over the songs. I would highly recommend you check it out. But until next time, guys, keep on rocking in the free world, and we'll see you next time.
Stay tuned for Braden's cover of a Baby Metal's new song pretty soon. Can't wait to see that, Braden. And yeah, can't wait to see that. Keep on rocking, fellas.